Welcome back to Spotlight, my good brother Vincent. Please, good to see you. What's happening?
All is well, man. Good to
Yeah.
see you.
Yes, we're having a good time off the air. It's always good. It's always good to talk to you. The government of the Virgin Islands cordially invites you to fly a flag for the Commonwealth ceremony, uniting a family of nations in common purpose. It's March 9th, the holiday that's coming up, Commonwealth Day,
Next Monday.
next Monday. What is that about? The fly a flag. I mean, what does it mean, fly a flag? First of all.
Well, Cromwell, let's go back to the beginning. Commonwealth Day has been celebrated for a very long time here in the BVI. It actually started in the 1800s, and the first one was celebrated in 1902 in memory of Queen Victoria. The first celebration used to be actually in May 24th, I think it was later on changed to June, and back in 1977 it was changed to the second Monday in March. Here's where we are now. It started out being recognized at Queen Victoria. And the whole idea of celebrating a Commonwealth had to do with the British Empire when it was at its height. And someone realized for the empire to sustain itself, the future of the empire had to deal with the youth. The youth were the ones that they figured was going to take this empire for the next few hundred years. They had been in power for at least 200 years before, and they wanted to carry on this empire for as long as they can. So somebody had the idea to create a consciousness within the empire. Let's have particularly the young people. This whole idea was to focus on the young persons, to have them participate in this program and do poems and so forth, to remember the empire and how great it is, and to make sure it remains great. That was the original thinking of this whole Commonwealth Day idea.
And I remember it as a boy as Empire Day.
Exactly.
Right, as Empire Day. And it was quite an interesting holiday to me. As a matter of fact, Empire Day, I think, was perhaps as close to Christmas as you could get, because I remember we used to get, just like you got new clothes for Christmas, we used to get new clothes for Empire Day. And then we used to go down to the school and we would run races.
Exactly, sports.
So had a sports day. And all kind and the people would bring treats, and all the local fare would come out, the tart and the cake and sugar cake and candy, peppermint candy, and all the homemade, the local homemade candies and pastries and treats and drinks, marby and and all those drinks, lemonade, limeade, and we would have, it would be a good time to get dressed up and you go. Some people would run races and all the different types of races, sack races, three-legged races.
It was like a sports day.
Egg and spoon race. So that it was a big celebration. I remember it as a big celebration. But then it waned, and for many years now we would just have a Commonwealth Day, and
no one knew what it really was about.
I'm sure many of the young people don't know what Commonwealth Day signifies.
I agree. You have to recall though, when it started in 1902, that was right before World War I. It started in 1914. England was still at the height of its power, but by World War II, back in 1942-43, England really went through a very, very difficult time. So the empire itself was crumbling, and so was the celebration of the empire. So I think that's why probably the whole celebration kind of waned a bit from what it used to be.
So this is the whole idea now of this fly a flag for in celebration of Commonwealth Day. Is it sort of trying to bring back the remembrance of the empire? What's the motivation for this seemingly new initiative?
Like you said earlier, it was called Commonwealth Day in the very beginning.
Empire Day in the very beginning.
Sorry, Empire Day in the very beginning. So a little change to, I think, British Commonwealth Day, and then that's 1966, and back in 1977 it became Commonwealth Day. Well, the Commonwealth is a group of 53 countries that have common goals and common purposes. It's a voluntary organization. It's actually an international organization. It's not about the UK only. The countries ranging from the Caribbean countries like Barbados, Trinidad, Antigua and Barbuda, all the way to the African countries, Uganda, Zambia, and so forth. It's like any other international organization. It's no longer what it used to be. What it started out to be, it has evolved significantly from that to what it is today. Today, the BVI, by virtue of being an overseas territory of the UK, we are part of the Commonwealth. And the Commonwealth, like I said, the Commonwealth is 53 countries around. It's an international organization like the OECS or one of those organizations. It has a lot of power.
Well, the Commonwealth, though, it strikes me as being the conglomeration of the former colonies.
Former colonies, that is correct.
And in many of the former colonies, they still retain the Queen as the head.
Yes.
Even though they are independent.
15 of them, yes.
Yeah. And so when you say Commonwealth, to me, and correct me if the meaning has changed, but when you say Commonwealth to me, it means the wealth that the empire held in common.
That's correct.
And so...
Because we were all bound together by the UK. The common thread was the UK. And you are correct. Some countries, though they're independent, even like Jamaica, that have constitutional monarchies, the Queen is still the sovereign. Though they call themselves independent, they are constitutional monarchies, and the Queen is a sovereign.
Well,
even countries like Canada.
That's interesting, and I don't know how much you could get into that, because that must be some sort of deep political configuration, I suspect.
Constitutional configuration.
Constitutional configuration. Is that something that you could talk about? What I'm asking is, how did that come to remain? How is it that we came to say we are independent, but we are going to have the Queen remain the sovereign head? And what is a power? Is that something that you're familiar with?
These are choices that we make. I'm not terribly familiar with it, but these are choices that we make. For example, the BVI, the Queen is our Queen because we are dependent, but we have chosen...
But we are still a colony.
Well, we have chosen that. That's a choice we have made. We can choose to be independent.
Well, I suppose we can. I don't know, how much of a choice that really is, but I suppose we can choose to be independent. But we remain a colony, so we are in the true sense of the word, a part of the empire.
Technically, yes. Technically.
Yeah. But be that as it may, we are celebrating by flying a flag. So talk to us about the celebration.
That's what I was coming to. So the whole idea of flying this flag, because like I said earlier, the Commonwealth is a voluntary organization that we are part of. We've signed on to it. They have a charter that we are party to. And it does have benefits. However, I do feel that the BVI, generally we have not taken full advantage of being a part of the Commonwealth. In terms of sports, we do a lot in sports every year. Last year, actually, we had the biggest contingency ever going to the Glasgow game. That's a Commonwealth game. That is part of a benefit of being in the Commonwealth. You can attend the games and participate. And over the years, we've really done a lot in terms of that. We also have the CPA, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. The BVI takes part in that and benefits significantly from being a part of that. And that's through the Commonwealth. But there are also many, many other things that the Commonwealth does that I don't think we are totally involved in, or as much as we should be involved in.
Is there any financial benefits?
Yes, there are financial benefits also.
Do they give any grants?
For example, just last year, they were working in the Bahamas to get them to understand seabed leases. They came in and assisted them in getting seabed leases.
So there's technical assistance available?
Lots of technical assistance. There are ministerial conferences, youth conferences, conferences on healthcare, ministers of health.
Parliamentary conferences.
But I don't think the BVI really takes full advantage of these things. Now, last year in Glasgow, they had a youth leadership forum. But before I get to that, the theme this year is youth, a young Commonwealth. Because Commonwealth Day is traditionally focused on youth. We always say the youth is the future of every country. The Commonwealth recognizes that. And this year the theme is a young Commonwealth. Last year in Glasgow, there was a conference called 3350. It was a conference open to all the Commonwealth, all youth. It was the first time the BVI was ever represented at that conference. And the reason being, you might not be aware of this, in the entire global population, 33% of the entire globe lives in the Commonwealth.
It's part of what used to be the British Empire.
Yep. The Commonwealth makes up 33% of the entire global population. That's a lot of power if you can pull it. So this whole Commonwealth idea of raising a flag is to heighten our awareness of our role, our place. The BVI is a global player. We're not simply a local player in a little pond in the Atlantic. We are global players, and the Commonwealth is a global entity. We are part of it.
How is the power accessed in the Commonwealth, in the global organization? How is that power accessed?
I think in the BVI case, it's through the FCO. And
But in terms of the unity of the Commonwealth having a lot of power, how would we as a country, and how would the Caribbean region in particular, access that power for our social, political, and economic development?
And again, that's what I said earlier. I don't think the BVI is engaged enough in being involved with what the Commonwealth does, in educating its people what the Commonwealth is really all about and how to get involved with it. The one person who went to the conference last year, the first time the BVI ever went, came to the BVI London office. I guess through their connections with the EU and with the FCO, they were able to. The BVI House every year invites students who are studying in the UK to come to their office, and they're exposed to a lot of stuff. And this is one of the things that came out from the BVI House. There's a Commonwealth stuff that offers opportunities in education, healthcare, studies, whatever it is. But it's often that it doesn't trickle down to us.
We don't take advantage of it.
We don't take advantage because most of the time we are totally unaware of it. So by raising this flag, it makes us, or hopefully it's supposed to make us a little more aware that we are part of this global organization that can really help us benefit.
So what are the activities that's going to be taking place on Monday the 9th?
On Monday at 9 o'clock, we're going to start with a march, a parade. We're going to assemble down at Soldiers Plaza, and we're going to march up around Patsy Lake Building, around Banco Popular, and down to the government building where the flag will be presented. Then we're going to have the usual program, the singing of the anthem and the national song and the prayer. And then we're going to have some poems, a song, and the speeches. The Queen is going to send a special speech for Commonwealth Day, along with a regular Commonwealth Day message that comes every year. And then we're going to have a message from the chair of the Commonwealth, which will be read on that day. And
that would be the end of the celebration.
Yes.
So we no longer have games in the schools. What role do the schools play in celebrating?
I think in the BVI, when the schools have it years ago, and the teachers used to really take it on and do stuff with the kids. I think it has dwindled down to a few schools doing stuff Commonwealth Day. I think over in Virgin Islands, Robinson O'Neill still does a sports day. I'm told this year you're going to have the Whitley doing a sports day. And of course, Ivan Dawson over in Kingarten Bay has a big sports day every year. I was actually there last year. I had a lot of fun. Local foods and drinks, and just watching the kids have a good time. But, you know, as a developing nation, we must go beyond food and drink and also nourish the mind. So we want people to engage the Commonwealth more.
So we're going to have, I guess, the information that's going to be coming out in the future is going to be, and this is going to be an ongoing initiative.
Exactly.
On an annual basis.
And this started out as a private initiative out of the UK, but and this is the second year it's being held. This year, if you start a bulletin, instead we're going to raise over 530 flags. That number has risen over the last 2 weeks to over 700 flags being raised throughout the Commonwealth around the globe. Even cruise ships are participating this year in this global initiative.
I'm looking at your note. I'm glancing at your notes across the desk here, and I see a lot of different flags. When persons come to participate in the event, should they bring their own country flag? What flag are they going to be raising, or how that ceremony is going to take place?
On that day, we're going to raise one flag, which is a Commonwealth flag. It's called Raise a Flag for the Commonwealth. We're just going to raise a Commonwealth flag, and we hope to have educational literature available that day.
But you're not encouraging each nationality in a territory to bring their national flag?
No, not necessarily. No, not at all.
So there's going to be so this flag is going to be raised down by the admin
at the government admin complex at 10 o'clock sharp.
At 10 o'clock sharp.
Though the parade starts
at 9.
9, exactly.
And that starts from where?
Salva George's Plaza.
So everybody gathering at Salva George's Plaza. Who's going to take part in the parade?
Exactly.
I don't know, I guess, 8:30?
8:30, quarter of 9. We're going to start 9 o'clock sharp.
So start 9.
Because the flag must be raised 10 o'clock sharp.
So you need to be there at 8 o'clock. You can't be there quarter to 9.
But
if you know how we does operate.
Yeah. But if you go to the complex, the parade will end at the complex. You're going to do the round of the complex around the flag. So we have lots of seating and so forth at the complex. So if you're there early enough, you will see the parade in its entirety. And you will see the highlight of the day will be the raising of the flag. We're going to have the acting governor. She's going to be reading the message from the Queen.
Okay, the governor's not here.
The governor, I think, will be away. So the acting governor will be raising the flag. Will be reading the speech from the Queen. Sorry.
Okay, so that sounds good. And we don't have what the flag looks like.
Yes, if you see, it's a blue flag with like a yellow sun
Okay,
in the middle.
okay, we
with
don't
a
have
C.
it. We don't have it in digital form, so we can't
Sorry,
show it on the.
I should have sent it to you.
Yeah, but
before.
okay. So I mean, we'll see it soon enough for sure. I'm sure there'll be a new story on it, and we'll see what the flag looks like. Now, I got a text. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's the little the flag, the globe, and the blue flag on the top. That's quite an interesting design.
Right.
That we need to figure out. You need to be told what that means. You got a globe in the middle, and you have some
See,
little.
because the Commonwealth goes all around the globe.
So that is the represent the different countries and all
Exactly,
those globes
and the global reach of the Commonwealth.
of the Commonwealth. Yeah. Now I got a text that asked a question. When we as people of African descent celebrate the Commonwealth Day and pay homage to the empire, we in actuality paying homage to some form of our own oppression, given the relationship, our historic relationship between African descendant people and the Commonwealth. How do you speak to that?
I find it very unfortunate. Though I understand the sentiment, I think we have to move away from that. We are to be the masters of our own destiny. We didn't start Commonwealth Day, but we met Commonwealth Day. We're going to take Commonwealth Day and make it work for us.
Okay.
And that is by coming together, understanding our strength. See, 33% of the world population lives in the Commonwealth. That's significant power, economic power, educational power. That's a lot of power you have there. If you can galvanize it, unify it, and use it to your advantage, as opposed to thinking about oppression and farmer slave owners and so forth. Let's come together. You have resources that I may need, let's share. You have expertise I may need, let's share. I have something you may need, let's share. Let's build each other up.
All right, well, thank you, my brother. We're under the turning of the clock. Let's go over again. That's on Monday, March the 9th.
Monday, March 9th.
It's Commonwealth Day, and we're celebrating Fly a Flag. And you just go through the ceremony and the times and the places so that persons wanting to come down and be a part of the celebration could have an opportunity to do so.
So it is Monday, March 9th, starting at 9 o'clock. The parade starts at 9 o'clock at Justice Plaza, and it comes up Waterfront Drive, goes around Patsy Lake New Building by Simply Delicious, go across by Scotiabank, across by Banco Popular, and onto the government's complex compound. The ceremony starts when the parade gets there, maybe around 9:30. We have the national anthem, territorial song, and so forth. And at 10 o'clock sharp, we're going to raise the flag. That flag is going to be raised by a young gentleman. His name is Jaleel Cameron. This young man is phenomenal. He's a guy, he's about 12 years old. He has been raising funds for the People's Hospital by himself, selling water. So I want everyone to come out and support him in his effort. This is what the Commonwealth is all about. Young people making a difference in their communities and connecting with other young people around the world, making a difference. That's what the Commonwealth ought to be.
And it's going to be lots of seating,
Lots of seating.
And there's a ceremony is going to be going on.
Exactly. It's not going to be terribly long. We're thinking to start about 9 o'clock and be finished by 10:30, the absolute latest.
Okay.
Because we want everyone to go to Ivan Dawson afterwards and partake of our cultural stuff over there, our traditional Commonwealth Day games and so forth.
So Ivan Dawson going to have a real Commonwealth Day celebration in King Garden.
The one we are more familiar with. Over in King Garden.
The egg and spoon.
Egg and spoon, exactly. There you go. Sacris and all that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
I'll be there also.
Okay, and then when is Ivan Dawson's sports going to start?
They begin around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So immediately after.
When you get there, they'll be in full swing.
Exactly.
And of course, going to be lots to eat and drink.
Lots of local food, lots of vendors, local drinks, soursop, Marby and so forth is going to be there. And give them a good plug right now.
Yeah, that's
but you come to the government complex first for the ceremony.
And then we hit the King Garden.
And then we hit the King Garden Bay. Because we want to raise the consciousness about the Commonwealth because we all can benefit from the Commonwealth.
But my brother, thanks for stopping by.
Always a pleasure.
Good to see you. Brother Vincent Whitley talking about raising a flag for Commonwealth Day. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to come back with Troy Christopher, Carrier Christopher. We're going to be talking about the upcoming BIBVI trade show. Keep it locked right here at the Spotlight. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands and CCT Global Communications.